Welcome back to part 2 with the conversation. This is Kendell Lenice Live, and we are talking to the men and the women. If you're just tuning in for the very first time, you missed a lot of videos. You got to go back to On the Minds of Men and On the Minds of Women, and then part 1 of this, the conversation between men and women. When we left off in part 1, we were talking about infidelity. We were talking about love. We were talking about why do you stay? Should you stay? You know, should you stay for the kids? And I just want to give props to Norman. Not just because he stayed in a relationship, but because he honors his children, and he was able to sit here in front of all of you and put it on out there and be vulnerable. And that's what it's about. It's about honesty in relationships, but honesty with yourself, saying, hey, this happened to me. Some other guy out there, you might be afraid to say, you know what? She cheated on me. She cheated on me more than once, because that might make you feel some type of way as a man. But it happens. It happens more than not. So Norman, I just want to say thank you for sharing. I do. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And I'm going to ask you another question, and then I want to hear from Leroy. But is this the first time that you ever said out loud that this woman cheated on you several times, but you stayed because of your children, and that was the most important thing in that relationship after the infidelity?
I mean, just to a very select, very few close individuals that knew our situation anyway, that were very close to me. But it wasn't something that, of course, that I broadcast out there or anything of the sort. Because, you know, it's usually what happens in your house stays in your house.
Especially in our community.
Right. So that's how I was kind of brought up. But, you know, sometimes things will get out there. But I will say this, I'm just going to add this. You know, I even looked at that type of situation. When I got with this person, they were very, very young. They never had a chance to get I would say while out, put it this way. When I met them, I'm not gonna lie, I was in a club and I met them, and they weren't even supposed to be in the club. You know, they weren't 21. You were supposed to be 21 to be in the club, and I had no idea they weren't 21 yet. So from that point on, they were with me for 23 years. So they never got a chance to, while out in college, do this, do that, date, whatever. It was me. So that was part of it, and part of getting married was because of having a child. So they never really wanted that in the first place. It was more or less because of certain situations they were pushed into accepting that. And it was not something that they embraced, like, oh, I can't wait to marry this guy. It was not that situation. And as we have gotten older, of course, they are moved on. They're with someone, you know, I can have conversations. I feel no ill will because I loved that person. So even the fact that they're with someone else and the fact that I had truly loved that person, it's all good. I don't have any, regardless of how things went, I have no hate, animosity, or anything because I had truly loved that person. So, but just to, and I'm not defending anything that they've done. It's just that, you know, they never got a chance to experience anything. And where the average person would have said, hey, I'm a date, I'm gonna do that, and I finally met the person, I'm settling down. They never got a chance to do that. So that happened all along during our marriage. Because they got married when they really didn't want to in the first place. And it was more out of, I was all they knew.
Right.
So literally coming out of high school as an adult, I'm the first person, I'm what they knew. So, and for years, that's just what it was. But my commitment was there for my child, and that's what, like I said, what kept me there.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Norman's story, that's his personal story, and that's his personal decision. And just like with Marques, that was their decision as a couple to, you know what, stick and stay. We're going to make this work. Let's really test these vows. Let's see if we're going to do what we said we were going to do, for better or worse. That wasn't, some might say that wasn't worse, but you don't know what's worse in someone else's relationship. So I want to switch gears just a little bit. And Leroy, I want to ask you the age-old question. Can men and women just be friends without hidden agendas? Like, not that, because, you know, I've heard men say about other men, but in the back of their mind, they're like, maybe one day. But do you think that we can just be friends?
Well, if, when folks ask me that, I mean, I say yes, because my best friend is a female. She and I have been friends since college. We've been ride or die since college. There's things that she know that ain't nobody gonna know but her. She going to the grave with it, just like there are things that I know that I'm going to the grave with. We just have that kind of relationship. We've been that close, and I look at it like this. And I say, here's how you know that someone is your friend, and not just a friend, but just your closest friend. I said, it's 2:00 in the morning. You stuck on the road, something happens to your car, and you have one person that you have to call, one or two people that you know you can call. Who's going to get up out of their bed, come get you, and you know, and take you back home? And she is that for me, and I can say that because she's done it for me. So, you know, so
she scooped you up off the side of the road.
Well, it wasn't 2:00 in the morning. It wasn't 2:00 in the morning, but she's literally had to drive. I'm talking 45 minutes. I don't even know. I don't know if it was an hour, but it was at least 45 minutes or so, because my car broken down. And I called her up like, "Hey, I need you to come get me." She's like, "I'm on my way. I'm coming to get you," without even hesitating, without a doubt. And I would do the same thing for her. She knows. Hey, if there's anything that she would need, if there's something that happens or whatever, I'm right there for her. And so I do believe that men and women can be, you know, can be just friends, and that it can be, you know, it can be that strong, you know, the strong bond there, without it having to be anything, you know, anything else, stuff like that. So.
All right, good. I agree with you, Leroy. Shedana, what do you think?
You know, I'm gonna tell you something. I've always felt that way when it came to some of my male friends, and now I don't know how they might have been towards another woman, but they would always come back to me and say, "You know, I always wanted to hit that." And I'm just being honest.
No, but that's why I asked that in the beginning.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it'd be 20 years later, and you think that they're your friend, and then they come with that exact line, right?
And it actually, believe it or not, it kind of hurt me, because I really respected them as a friend, and I didn't want, you know, I had a couple of them that kind of like tried to push my feelings to where they were, and it just wasn't like that, because I literally respected them like a brother, a friend. And so sometimes I think that's why I learned how to laugh things off and have a good time, because I had to laugh a lot of stuff off, because I didn't want to end our friendship, because he was that brother that was there when I needed someone to talk to. And I needed that, and I didn't want that messed up, because I really did know their heart was pure and did care about me, you know. But you know, it's hard to ask. I don't know. I can honestly say I've had male friends.
But that's an honest answer.
Yeah. It was, and
have you ever had that? Let me switch it up. Have you ever had? And Shedana, I'm still talking to you around. Had that friend.
You breaking up.
I reverse that. You wanted more.
Oh, yeah. I might have wanted more.
Can you? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna say no, only because as a woman, I never want to put myself out there as I mean, I'm not going to say I've never had a male friend and was like, God dang, he fine, or, you know, whatever. But I get into the protective mode. I get more into the protective mode. Like, wait a minute, women, I know his heart. He's a good man. And if I know you ain't worth crap, you might as well step back. Unless, you know, it's his choice. You know, step aside, little sis. I want to go on and check it out. Then I'm hey. But no, pretty much once I'm a friend with a guy and that's my understanding, that's where I like to respect that friendship, and I leave it right there.
Yeah. Okay, Tishera, I see a lot going on. You laughing, crying.
Yes. No, my eyes was a little irritated because when you asked her, did she ever have a friend that she would have, I guess the question was more or less like, did she ever mess with one of her friends?
Or did she want to? Not even, maybe didn't follow through, but did she want to? Did you have that thought?
Yeah, I was cracking up to myself because I was saying she good. I've had a best friend, baby. Yes, God. Hey, we being honest. You know what I mean? It's sometimes like, God. Woo. But needless to say, I've had friendships. I've had friendships. Thank God, hallelujah, Lord, I'm good now. So I can talk about stuff because he gave me for stuff. Yes, God. Yes, God. But I've had friendships and we've crossed lines and we still had remained the same way. Like we act as if nothing happened. I met their people and
Right.
And then I've had a friend and I just shouldn't have never crossed the line because feelings became different on both ends. You know what I mean? Like I've had that where I'm like, ooh, wait a minute. Now I heard about this person and they heard about me. And I think because we were both like competitive, but we were friends. And when we crossed that line, we got we crossed the line, but we still remained friends. But after a while, I started developing these feelings and emotions, and I was like, I shouldn't have, but we still remain friends. And even still to this day, we don't even talk about it. We giggle, we laugh, because some people just don't know. You know what I mean?
It's like, oh, I saw you naked.
But no, oh God, that's all I can say was woo. He's laughing. Pastor Empty. I'm just saying, I mean, we're having an adult conversation and I'm being honest about it, you know.
But you know what? I'm starting to think, I don't know. You were a little giggly over there, so it must have been right for a moment anyway.
For me? Who, for me? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I said, you know, they say, oh baby, you got what I need, and you say he's just a friend. Yeah, it was that, oh baby, you. You know what I mean? Like, woo! And it was like it was like that. It was somebody that it was like that with, but we're still to this day. I could still talk to that person and have a conversation, and we don't have to talk about that because when we went there, and when it stopped, and it stopped for good, and it just stopped. It wasn't no, I'm falling in love with you. I can't believe you're playing with me. We just like stopped. We just stopped. And
Yeah.
I feel that we both were at that moment, like we could have been probably getting ready to, I guess, try to fall in love with one another, but we knew that would ruin because we knew too much about each other. You know, it was a point in time in my life when I was very much a single woman. You know what I mean? And when I was a single woman, I did what single women did. I was the male version. I was the male version of when I was in my singleness. I'm not gonna lie about it. You know, some men when they single, you know, they mingle. But baby, I was the best that ever did it because I was honest. I was very honest. I was honest if I was seeing somebody, and I'll never
look at Marques. Look at Marques.
Hey, I'm just saying we're having an adult conversation, and we can talk about this. That's why people know that we're being very real and honest about it. I remember, true God, it was deep. because I was dating like several people all at the same time. And then one person, I remember this one particular guy, he was like, yo, you seeing somebody else? I was like, absolutely. Absolutely. And they was like, oh, you mean to tell me you, I said, I'm single. I mean, what do single people, we didn't make a commitment. We committed to what we were doing at that time. You know what I mean? Like, I could see you today and walk past you the next day. I was that kind of raw. When I was in that way, I was very raw, uncut, uncensored, and that's what, to be honest with you, it drew men more to me because I was just like, "What's up? I can see you with another shorty." Be like, "Oh, I probably was there with you," but that was just how raw I was when I was single. You know what I mean? So it was something.
Yeah. Am I breaking up or I'm good?
No, you good.
You're good.
Okay. So Deirdre, what's going on? Do you think that men and women can be friends, and have you ever crossed that friendship line?
Yes and yes.
Okay.
I've always, I think, had, now it's not that way. Now I have, very few extremely close male friends. But, through high school, college, in my 20s, even in my 30s, I had men friends. And for me, I would be their wing girl. You know what I mean? We'd go out and I'm like, yo, over there, she got a fat, whatever, just go and talk to her. You know what I mean? It's what we did, and it was cool. And there was a couple of times where I think timing was wrong, where, I was really starting to catch a little bit of a feeling and think, well, maybe, but he wasn't there. And then, he would be thinking something about me and I didn't know it. And so it never worked out. And that probably happened about, 2 or 3 times. But I think that the biggest challenge, I've had 2 really, really close men friends. And I think that the challenge comes is if that man friend is in a relationship, because it's just like, I think it was Marques that said that, he was, he had been in love with somebody and they're still friends to this day, and, everything is cool. And that's my outlook. But there are some people in relationships that cannot handle their partner being friends with somebody that they used to be in love with. Right? And there's an emotional intimacy that comes up that creates a bit of a problem. And then, I would say, thinking about that, even when I was, married, I had 1 man friend. Well, actually, I still had 2, 2 men friends, you know what I mean? Completely platonic. But I realized that with one of them, I kind of crossed that emotional intimacy line because my marriage had already, gone south, and I was in it strictly at that point for, my kids.
Yeah.
And I just had said, you know what? I don't care. We can have separate rooms, just whatever, do you?
Yeah.
But the emotional intimacy part, I realized it wasn't fair.
Yeah.
Because I was getting that need met there. And I'm not saying it wasn't fair to my husband at the time. It wasn't fair to that person.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's just like, I wasn't available. I wasn't interested at that point of, going out and doing anything. I just wanted somebody, emotionally that I could talk to.
You wanted emotional support.
Right.
I definitely believe I've had male friends that I've had for many, many, many years. Norman is one of them. But I've had male friends that I have to this day that I've had 30 years, as long as some of my female friends. And I have never we've been friends, and we're still friends, and they're still the people that will scoop me up off the side of the road if I need be. They're in different cities now. But I did have one friend who we were friends for a long time, and then years later, we came together, and we were together for 5 years, you know, with one friend. And we were friends. People thought we were brother and sister. We were tight. And then one day he came with that, what Shedana said, well, listen here. I always, you know, and we did, but he is probably the only one. I still have male friends to this day, and we've been riding for years, and we haven't. Now, we don't know the secret thoughts of other people. You know what I mean? We don't know. You know, you'll have some, they'll say something here and there, you know, that little whatever they want to say at times. But other than that, I honestly believe that men and women can have a platonic relationship. Absolutely. And be, like Leroy said, be best friends. So I want to ask, who do I want to go to? Okay, so I want to go to Marques. So Marques, I'm not going to ask you that question because you are Murray. Like they say, Murray. But I want to ask you another question. What is the biggest myth and misconception that women have about men, other than they can't be vulnerable?
What is the misconception that a lot of women have about men?
Yes, other than that you're not vulnerable, because a lot of women think that. So other than that, because we burst that myth when you guys were on the Minds of Men.
I think it may be a little different than what you're asking. I think a lot of times, a lot of women think that they really can change a man. And to be honest, I don't think that's possible. I think that they can present things that would cause a guy to maybe look at and ponder, but to actually think that, oh, if he gets with me, I can change him. Get with me, I can do this and I'll fix him. If a man is going to change, a man is going to change because he's decided to make that change. My grandma, God bless her soul, watched it over the years. I've watched it over the years. My grandmother had a saying, and I didn't understand it because I was a kid at the time. My grandmother had a saying, this was scared me. He said, if a man doesn't change by the time he reaches 40, he'll never change. And that was one of the things that I honestly knew I had to fix about myself in the struggles of my marriage with my wife, because I started to see myself approaching that age of 40. My grandmother saying, if a man don't change by the time he reaches 40, he'll never. And I didn't.
Wow.
So all you ladies out there, you better get them before they 40.
and I'm not saying I don't want to be the oddball.
You better get them. All you older women say you don't want to date them young men. You better get one before they turn 40.
Cougar. Yeah, cougar.
But I just think for me, just kind of, I don't know if I strayed away from what you asked. I just think a lot of times women think that they can change a man, so they'll look at him and say, "Oh, if I got with him, he'll be a lot different."
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Leroy, what's the biggest misconception that women have about men? And then I'm going to ask you, Norman, and then ladies, I want to ask you something different.
Wow, the biggest misconception. I think it is. I think one of the things is to kind of add to what Marques said. I think is that women think that. How do I put this? And I said this at this men's conference that I was on the other day, a virtual 2 weeks ago. I think they think that we men have a Superman mindset where we have to do it all, we have to be it all, and we have to take on it all. When that's not what we were created to do. That's why God created Eve, because he knew that Adam was not meant to do it all.
I've heard my husband say that. Wow. You're the other person than him saying that. I've heard. Wow.
Yeah, so I think that's sometimes one of the myths that I think that women sometimes do have. Yes, we are men. Yes, we do have the responsibility, responsibility that comes with being a man and understanding manhood. But I would say that the expectation sometimes is, he'll take care of it, he'll handle it. When sometimes, if the truth be told, like we talked about putting that mask on, where sometimes where we act like we can handle it, we act like we can do it all, we act like, and let's be real, and I think the fellas will agree with this. Some of the times the things that we do is so that we can give the persona that we can do it all, that we can be it all. When in actuality, it's like, no, I do need you. I need you to handle this. I need you to do this. I need you to do that. So I think that, to me, that's one of the misperceptions, I would say.
And that's a good one, because men need help just like women need help. We are all in this together. So I thank you for saying that for some of the women, because some women think that men don't need help. So that is a misconception that a lot of women have about men. Norman, what's a misconception for you that women have about a man? What have you encountered?
Not to be repetitive, I think one of the things that I think is a big misconception is that a lot of women, not all women, of course, a lot of women tend to think that a man should already know certain things when it comes pertaining to that. Like, he should know that. I shouldn't have to tell him that. He should know to do this. He should know to do that. He should understand that already. Right, exactly. That instead of helping that man understand you, understand where you're coming from, communicating, don't just assume that he should automatically know just because he should know. We need help. We need help understanding. That's one of the like the eighth wonder of the world is understanding a woman. It's one of the great mysteries for men. So I actually think that, a lot of women just have that misconception that a man should already know. I shouldn't have to tell him this. I shouldn't have to tell him that. It should be simple. It should be easy for him to understand. I shouldn't have to say this. When we really need to be guided sometimes.
Yes, y'all do.
Yes, because we look at women as complex creatures. There's so many different facets to a woman. That's one of the things that makes them beautiful. There's so many different facets to a woman. That's what makes them amazing. But we don't have a playbook to go by. We don't know it all. So, don't be afraid to use that softer side and use that to educate your man and talk to your man and let him know that, hey, this is some things that we go through, or this is how this makes me feel when you do this. Now, if we want to act hard-headed and don't want to listen, then that's a whole different ballgame. But just know that we don't come with it downloaded in our memory banks that we just totally know everything that we should about a woman.
Yeah, thank you. And I'm glad you said that, because a lot of women who are bosses, CEOs, professional women, sometimes it's hard to display that softer side. And I think with us women, we talked about that. And I think I talked about this with the men. I can't remember one of those shows I talked about that. And sometimes it's hard to be that softer person, because you're just on the grind, you're doing. And even with me, I have to slow myself down, because sometimes you don't even realize that you're not being soft. You know what I mean? I have on pink now, and that's soft and sweet. So, the color pink. But I have to because sometimes you're just so laser focused, you don't realize. And a lot of women are in that situation. A lot of women who are, like I said, bosses, entrepreneurs, owners, CEOs, and just out there on the grind. Or if they've been single possibly for a long time and they've been running and doing everything, sometimes they don't know, because we have a lot of women out there that have to be the man and the woman. They got to be the mother and the father. And they're just so used to just making it do what it do, and let me just handle this. So when somebody comes along, they don't know how to relinquish. They don't know how to sit back and take that cape off, because they're used to doing it. So it does take a man, and that person's man, whoever that is, to say, listen, but it has to be in the right way, and it has to be the right person. And I think with men, a lot of times they can show it through their actions and not what they say. Like if a man said, for instance, baby, I'm here for you, but you ain't never been there. If you ain't never been there, then you're not. You get what I'm saying? You have to show it. Like some things you don't have to say. You just have to show that presence, that I'm there, you know? And I think that's what really softens women, to know that that person has your back without saying it. Because if they say it and then you're in a situation and they don't show it, then you're going to harden back up, because they didn't keep their word. So I think really keeping your word and having that conversation with that person, I call them kitchen table conversations. Relationships need to have kitchen table conversations. Okay, let's sit down, you know, let's really talk about it. And that's like we're doing now. I think people in relationships need to do that. Very well. So women, I want to ask you a different question. What do you want the men to know about a woman? I'm going to start with, look at Shedana's face. You want me to come back? You want me to come back?
No, go on. You can start.
So what do you want Tishera out, and then I'll come back to Shedana. Tishera, what do you want men to know about a woman?
It's a lot to us. It's a lot to us. Some of us have been hurt in different ways, and your guard is all the way up, and we don't know how to let the guard down. It doesn't mean that we don't want to let the guard down, but not wanting our feelings to get hurt anymore is something that I think that a lot of women just struggle with, because they don't want the same repetition to happen again. So if she's like, oh, I don't want to be bothered, sometimes she do want to be bothered, but you just have to embrace it a different way. You know what I mean? Like, you know,
Leroy's over there shaking his head, because he probably knows that to be true. Leroy is like,
you know, like sometimes, I mean, speaking for myself, because I work, I go to school, I have a lot going on, but outside this, that's a whole nother show. But as far as being a woman, sometimes just the block is up, and it's up so high that if someone does come into a woman's life and they could potentially be good, you have to really begin to start learning how to break the barriers a little bit. Not if she says, I don't want to be bothered, and I say, oh, well, you always like that anyway. No, I think that's the wrong approach. You say, oh, well, you know, let me know what do you want to do? You know what I mean? Let's do something different. You know, be adventurous with women, because whether you know it or not, a lot of women are adventurous, but sometimes you don't have enough adventurous men. You go to the same boring places, like the movie, go to the movie theater, you go out to eat dinner. Like, when can we go skydiving?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, there are a lot of, I know for me personally, I'm adventurous. You know, let's go run on the sand. Let's just go jump in the water, you know, something like that. But a lot of people don't have that in them, whether it's a man or whether it's a woman. They don't know how to be. They think it's corny to be open. So.
I love that, because I'm adventurous too. I love that. And that is a misconception. And that I'm glad that you said, and not even a misconception, but it is in a sense, because especially in the Black community, you want to go in the water and get your hair wet and all of that stuff. We could do a whole show about that, because sometimes a Black man won't ask a Black woman to do certain things, because stereotypically they think that they're not going to do it. like you can't swim, you're afraid of heights, all the stuff that they have for us that we don't do. We don't zip line, we don't have fun. We just go to the movies and go out to eat. So I'm glad that you said that that's what you want men to know, that we need you to be adventurous. We need you to try different things. We need you to know who we are. And that's where these conversations come in. Thank you, Tishera. All right, Shedana, you ready?
Yes. But I don't zip
What do you
line.
want men to know? What you say?
I said, but I don't zip line.
Oh. But do you get your hair wet? Do you get your hair wet?
Yeah, I'll get it wet. Yeah,
I'm not talking about in the shower. I'm not talking about in the shower.
Oh, okay.
PG, but I'm not talking about in the shower.
Because you know what? Because I was going to say, because the adventurous can go different ways.
Yeah.
Honestly. And sometimes men feel like they got to go outside of their woman to get that adventure sexually or other ways. You know what I mean? Being adults. No, your woman, she might say as you driving, that look like a little empty spot right there. Or let's go park at the top of the parking lot.
See, wait a minute, let me pause. I think Shedana says she's single, and I think right now she's campaigning, but go ahead.
No.
I'm just teasing, but that's great.
No, but what I'm saying is a lot of times men will go outside of the marriage thinking that their woman isn't going to want to, because it's a lot of those single women, not me, y'all, but they're so desperate, they're willing to do anything to capture a man.
That's true.
And they don't realize, and so they'll tell that man whatever they feel like, ooh, that blow my mind because my wife ain't say that, But guess what? That wife, she might not mind climbing up that tree and you chasing her too. So that's, but that's not what I wanted the men to know. What I wanted the men to
But you know what? I will say this before you even say that. I will say this. If it's the right man and that man is treating you right and you feel special, you feel loved, there's nothing a woman will not do for that man.
True.
It has to be that right relationship, that right mix, and that healthiness. Would you agree?
Honey, you are right on point. And that was going to be somewhat like mine. What I was going to say is, I think a woman want to know that she is your all in all. She's number one. When I walk out them doors, I want to feel like I'm the only woman on this earth in your eyes. Now, I'm not going to say, and I'm going to say, I've had someone like that. A young lady could walk by shaped like I don't know what. And it's not like he's trying to respect me while he's with me. He's not looking. And then once we pass, I see him. Never, ever. He told me, he said, and it's been times of me as a woman, I would go, oh my God, look at this girl backside. And he said, it's another butt. And I go, wow. And he meant it. He wasn't just saying it because of me. And then as I'm stepping down that curb, he would take my arm to make sure when I stepped down, my hand, that I stepped down without tripping. And then when I went up the curb, when we crossed, he would actually take my arm and lift me up to make sure my footage was right. It was him.
That's a gentleman.
This is the truth. Yes. And I'll never forget, y'all. I had I have a scar, and I was like trying not to show the scar on my stomach. And he was like, he's like, what's going on? I said, I got a scar. What are you talking? I said, a scar. And so then he said, what scar? And that got mad. I said, what scar? And he said, came down and he kissed my belly and he said, I thought that was a beauty mark. He said, don't you ever talk about yourself like that again. And I'm going to tell you, when you have somebody that cares about, when I stepped out knowing that man respected and loved me. And that's what we want to feel like. We don't want to feel like when we go out the door, it takes just a woman walking by with a dog, whatever, and your eyes are wandering, your mind is wandering, and then you want to come home and think we want to be lovey-dovey. No, baby. it's, you know, treat us that pre-love, that foreplay starts in the beginning. Make that woman feel like she's the woman God is giving you. You love her. She's the apple of your eye. And you better believe you won't need for nothing.
Yeah, that's so, I agree. I agree 100%. And foreplay starts the moment you wake up. And a lot of people think foreplay is just about sex. Foreplay is having those intimate conversations. Can I come to you? Can you come? We talk? Can we laugh? That's foreplay. And a lot of people think foreplay starts in the bedroom, but it really starts when you wake up and how you can interact with that person and how safe you feel with that person to just be free. Like you said, scars and all. And I love to call scars beauty marks too. And I love that because we are what we've been through. We're a product of that. And if you have a scar from having a baby, have a scar from surgery, you know, you fell down and you eat whatever it is, the flaws are beauty marks because that means we were here and we lived life and we gave life. In a lot of cases, women have those scars. Good. All right, Deirdre, what do you want fellas all across this globe to know about women and these men right here in this forum?
I would say that the high maintenance woman that is, you know, often pursued is not the one that's going to love you the same way. I've had, you know, like I said, a lot of guy friends, and they go after the women that, you know, get their hair done every 2 weeks and get their nails done and their face is always completely perfect and all these things are great and they look gorgeous, but then there's nothing but drama on the inside. And you know, I have girlfriends and we talk about this and it's like, okay, we don't go through all of that kind of stuff because we're investing our time and our effort in who we are as a person and how we're going to treat somebody when we're in a relationship. And we're not trying to go and do some false advertising and do all this other kind of stuff, knowing we're not going to maintain all of that, you know, getting the nails done and all that other kind of stuff. We want to be who we are and love for who we are. Yeah, and if that's the case, then we're going to go and, you know, reciprocate that and more. But I see that a lot with my guy friends. You know, it's just those, you know, I call them high maintenance. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with, you know, people that take care of themselves in that way and want to have that kind of look. It's their, you know, decision. And if that makes them feel good, that's great. But there's a lot of women out there who may not have that cookie cutter type of image that can bring a lot to a relationship.
Yeah, wonderful. Well said. And that's so true. And I always say substance over everything. Now, if you want to get your hair done and nails done all the time, that's fine. That's your business. Keep yourself up. But you got to have something to offer other than a pretty face and a big booty and some nails. So, you know, you got to have a little more substance over everything. All right. So y'all ready to play this or that? We're going to play this or that.
All right.
I'm going to start with Norman. Y'all ready for these questions?
Let's do it.
Okay, Norman, a fat booty or a kind heart?
And it's this or that.
This or that.
Not this and that.
So 6 in one, half a dozen in the other is what you're saying, right?
A tig old booty, tig old bitties out. That's another one, but go ahead.
Put it this way, up until this point in my life, it would have been the big old booty, but experience is the best teacher, and a kind heart outweighs that.
Okay. And then you get older, and then you grow up. You see what's important. Now she got a kind heart and a big old booty. You on to something.
There you go.
All right, Leroy. Nice feet or nice eyes? And nice is relative to who we're talking to.
Well, let's see. All right, are we
this or that? She can have this or that.
I gotta go boomerang because does she have hammer time in her toes?
Look, Leroy. Now, do you want her toe hanging off the sandal, or you want some nice?
So instead, he would have a girl with a patch.
I know, man.
Walking around like this.
Woo.
But her feet are dope.
I love some pretty eyes, but I love pretty eyes. I want eyes, but if them toes, I mean, if she got the hammer time, I can't deal with it.
Go and buy some eye patches.
I know, right?
Just saying.
The eyes ain't got to be super pretty. I'm sorry, but you got to take care. You got to take care of them toes. I'm sorry. You got to take care of them toes. I need some nice toes. I'm sorry.
All right, Marques. Like they say, tig old bitties or some beautiful teeth. So you breast or teeth?
Teeth.
Okay.
Yeah. Teeth. Yeah.
I don't need no switchblades on.
I'm just saying, all day for me, you know. I love a nice smile. So.
Okay, all right. Tishera's over there crying. Tishera. All right, with that man, you ready, Tishera?
Yeah.
All right. So you want some muscles or a beautiful smile?
I want some muscles. I'm trying to want some muscles.
He had a jacked up teeth, right?
That's my girl. Because you gonna have some.
The grill all jacked up.
Listen, not because
But he caught up though. He's caught up though.
I know, right?
He got dental insurance.
Listen. Because first of all,
We wear masks now behind those teeth.
but not because first of all, you want to have a nice set of teeth anyway, so I might as well just choose muscles. Because if you go to smile, I'm not even talking to you.
But hey, you together for a couple of weeks and his grill got messed up. We're
gonna go get some dentures. Yeah, smile, muscles.
All right. Okay, Deirdre. I'm trying to decide if I want to give you or Shedana this question because both of y'all are going to be off the hook with this one. So I'm trying to decide.
Shedana, give it to Shedana.
They say, okay, I'm going to see whoever's going to answer this first, and then I'm going to go to the next. They say size doesn't matter. It's the motion of the ocean.
Oh Lord.
So would you rather have size, penis size, or a fat wallet?
Ain't nothing going on but the rent.
So
you know,
okay.
I'm sorry, because no, don't bring somebody that's living in their mother's house.
Wait, Norman pulled out his wallet. and it's Louis Vuitton. Wait a minute.
Yeah, do not bring somebody that's still living with their mom and has a credit score of 350 and something like that, but you know, they're gifted. No, there's not enough gift in the world. No, because that is going to turn me off, that I'm not even going to want to look at you or have to hear me.
In the movie Disappearing Acts, she said, you should have asked me. I would have told you the big wasn't worth the hassle. Ain't gonna be worth the hassle that you got to deal with this person. And not saying that that's all, but I just thought, like Leroy, we think of movie titles, movie lyrics. So you, Deirdre, will pick the wallet.
Yes.
Okay.
So unequivocally.
Okay. All right, Shedana.
Yes. I have to answer the same question.
No, I'm going to ask you in a different way.
Okay.
Don't want no short man. Don't want no short man. And we're saying this, you got to go back if you missed why I'm asking her about a short man. You got to go back to listen to the women's on the minds of women, and you'll know why. All right. So a short man, right? Or the biggest heart you would ever find. This or that.
Well, the biggest heart, most definitely.
Okay. So that was easy for you, right? Okay, tell me why.
Now,
that
if you
was
would have
so
said a
easy.
tall man.
What'd she say?
Now, if she would have said a tall man or the biggest heart. The big
The
old
biggest
tall
heart.
drink of
Biggest
water.
heart. Biggest
Biggest
heart.
heart.
Okay. And that's again, that's with men too, a substance over anything. Right?
Yes. Yeah. Most
All right.
definitely. Big heart.
All right. So I'm going to go around and I'm going to ask you to finish this sentence. All right? And I want you to use 3 words or less when you finish this sentence. My biggest lesson from the opposite sex was, you can name 3 adjectives if you want to do it that way. Short sentences. I'm going to start with Leroy.
So you want 3?
Mm-hmm.
The first
It
one
could be a
is
sentence or it could be just boom, boom, boom.
one more. Listen, understand, and appreciate.
Say the first one again.
Listen, understand, and appreciate.
That's your
Those are
biggest
3
lesson.
things that I've learned.
Okay. Deirdre?
All right, this is 4. Vulnerability won't kill me.
That's good. That's good. That's good. Marques?
Expect anything.
Norman?
Think before you react.
That's good. Shedana?
Guard your heart.
Tishera?
I gotta pass. I can't get that quick because it's so much.
Look, Tishera, you gonna say more money, more problems. That's fine.
The biggest lesson that y'all taught me was vulnerability, understanding the scars that come from when you're younger, and that's it.
Okay.
That's
So
what I can say. Vulnerability.
okay. 1 word. What makes you smile? I'm gonna start with Marques.
What makes me smile? For me, it would have to be appreciation.
Okay. Good. Norman?
That's the exact words that came to my mind.
Tishera?
Appreciation.
God makes me smile.
Leroy?
No, mine too. I'm gonna have to honestly say appreciation. That will put a smile on my face big time.
Wow, all 3 men said appreciation. Ladies, take note. Ladies on this panel, myself included, and ladies out there, take notes.
I would just like to say that I appreciate all men.
Me too.
But can I touch that really quick on behalf of the guys? I know I'm not the spokesperson for them, but for all 3 guys to say the same thing, what really has just been said by these guys here is that there's nothing in the world that they would not do for that woman.
Yeah.
Woo! That's real. That's real.
Wow. I
Real.
appreciate y'all too.
That's real. All right, so Deirdre?
What makes me smile? I'm just happy with life. At this point in my life, I'm just, you know what? I think it's reflecting back on where I've been and seeing where I am now. That makes me smile.
Oh, yes, yes. Tishera?
What makes me smile is my love of God.
Okay, you did say that. I'm sorry, but you can't say God. You can say God more than once. We could say that.
Okay. So you want something else?
No.
Okay.
I want your. But I'm saying I came to you twice, and I said you said God twice, and I said there's nothing wrong with saying God twice.
Okay.
All right, Shedana, what makes you smile?
I have 2 things: a praying man that makes me smile. A man that has a heart after God, that makes me smile.
Mm-hmm.
And a man that loves me through my faults, through my shortcomings. He can always pick out and see the best in me. You know? And because that makes me want to strive and say, oh, I got to conquer this, so I got to get this to make sure my baby, when he said the next time, it's going to come with some substance, you know.
All right. All
So,
right.
yeah.
All right. All right. So we're going to do rapid fires. I'm going to give you one word and you're going to give me one word back. So we can get through a couple of these. And we're just going to go down the line. One word. You don't even need to explain. Deirdre, family.
Home.
Norman, family.
Love.
Marques, family.
Everything.
Leroy, family.
Wow. Think about when I think of family, I just honestly, I think
no explanation. Just one word.
I'm going to honestly say love.
Okay, Shedana.
That's what I love.
Tishera.
Forever.
Norman, same thing, different word. Love.
Life.
Marques, love.
Sacrifice.
Leroy, love.
Unconditional.
Shedana, love.
He took my word, unconditional.
Deirdre, love.
Edifying.
Tishera, love.
Forever.
Tishera, the last time I asked for love, you said hate. And now you say forever. See, it's about growth already, learning and just really seeing things differently. Sometimes, you know. All right, so another word, same game, different word. Spouse. Even if you don't have one, because you're speaking it.
Who you're starting with?
Oh, I'm sorry, Norman. I'm looking at you like.
Okay.
And say the word again, because you were breaking up, Kendell.
Okay. Can you guys hear me clearly now?
Yes.
Okay. Spouse.
One.
Marques, spouse.
Strength.
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 Okay. Leroy. Spouse.
Unity.
Shedana, spouse.
As much as I want one, going by me, pain.
Okay.
Going
That's
by
real.
past experience.
Deirdre, spouse.
Friend.
Tishera, spouse.
Undecided.
All right, so I'm gonna start another. We're gonna do one more lap with one more word. The word is Tishera.
Happy.
Shedana. The one word is Shedana.
Empty right now. Empty.
Leroy, the word is Leroy.
King.
Marques, the word is Marques.
Growing.
Norman, the word is Norman.
Resilient.
I love that. I love that. All right. Whew. This was deep. This was deep.
Change my word.
Yes.
I want to say brave.
Okay. Yeah. And each person knows why they chose that answer. Because this is the thing about people. We can celebrate everyone else. We can give words when we're talking about something else, but a lot of people aren't kind to themselves. A lot of people struggle with loving themselves. So just as quick as you can say, Oh, Norman, I love that hat. Ooh, Tishera, that necklace. Oh, Deirdre, that necklace. Ooh, Shedana, your hair. Ooh, Leroy, I like your glasses. Ooh, Marques, I like your, your show. Why can't you give that same thing to you all the time? You cannot celebrate anyone else unless you start with yourself and celebrating yourself. Because all of these beautiful faces that I see, all of you have been through hell and back at some point in your life. But to still be here and being able to share your stories and your strengths and also your weaknesses and vulnerability, I see a lot of brave people. I see a lot of beautiful people. I see a lot of strong people. I see a lot of hurt people. I see a lot of survivors, and I just see a lot of strength on this panel. I'm just so grateful and thankful. I'm stumbling over my words because I can't even tell you how filled I am right now. I'm full. I'm on E. I'm on E right now just by looking at all your faces. And I know viewers, you can't see all of your faces, but I can see all of their faces and they look beautiful. And I think I'm going to take a picture real quick just so you can see what I'm looking at. And these are men and women that want nothing from one another. They want nothing, but they want understanding. And if that's all that it takes to have these conversations and just to say, you know what? I might not have been through what you've been through. I can't relate to what you're saying, but I understand. Hey, we're going to throw a song out there. What I need is understanding. And that's what most people need. They want to be valued. They want to be understood. So if we can take the time to really get to understand the opposite sex, and even within our own sex, that's when we'll begin to grow and heal. So I just want to ask one more question, and then we're going to go through. We did another hour, y'all. We did part 2.
Told you.
Deirdre.
I knew it.
Part 2.
What I say.
But this was good. That's all right, because this time I already prepared my dinner. So I'm making salmon cakes. So all I got to do now is fix them up and put them in a pan. But before we conclude this amazing show, like I have tears in my eyes. I don't know if you can see, but they're welling up. I just want a woman to tell Norman that they apologize. I apologize for. On behalf of women, I apologize for. You heard Norman's story, so I want you to say, Norman, I apologize for what?
For what you had to endure. It wasn't fair. You didn't deserve that.
Wow.
All right. Whew, child. My eyes are welling.
I have to say, I
wait
apologize.
a minute, Shedana.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So, Deirdre,
Yeah.
I want you to talk to Marques, and I want you to apologize.
Marques, I'm sorry, and I apologize that I wasn't able to support you the way that you needed to be supported when you needed it most.
Wow.
And Shedana, wow.
Yes.
I want to apologize on behalf of women to Leroy.
Leroy, I want to apologize for taking your kindness for granted. Looking at you and not seeing past your heart, or seeing past your heart and not looking at the man that you are, the gentleman that you are, the giver that you are, the gentleman that you are. And I apologize for that, because you are an awesome, wonderful man, and I appreciate you.
Whew, y'all. Okay. Marques, I want you to apologize to Tishera.
Now, which one are we talking about? I knew that was her. No, it's so funny because I'm sitting here and it's so crazy how you literally was in my head because I'm listening to everything that's going on. So I'm like, okay, which lady is she going to give me? And but my mind is thinking about her the whole time.
Wow. Wow.
So crazy because I'm sitting here and I'm saying, if that's who I get, I just have to say on behalf of men that we apologize that we couldn't accept your strength of the type that you are.
Woo.
Wow.
That it did not mean that we were weak.
Tishera, say something so they can see you. She's crying. To say something to Tishera so the camera can go on you as he talks.
It's no coincidence that you would say that, because as we sit here, and that's something that I'm always told, I'm too strong. I'm too strong. And just to hear somebody that don't know me and for that to be led in your spirit, that was nothing but God.
Well, I was sitting here and I was listening to you when you talked and you begin to share your experiences. And, and I'm saying to myself, I'm sure one of the struggles he's had with men is men can grasp the fact that this is a strong Black woman that they're dealing with. And it doesn't mean that they're weak. It doesn't mean that they're less of a man. It doesn't mean that they, for the lack of better words, might not be in control of things. It just means that they have a woman who knows what she wants. She knows how she wants it. She knows when she wants it. And she knows the way she wants it. And for a real man, you got to appreciate that. So for all men, let me say, I'm sorry. You've been mishandled for being who you are.
My God. Whew. Lord have mercy. Norman, I want you to apologize to Shedana.
Okay. I want to apologize for us or not letting you know that we see you, that we see past any faults that you see in yourself, and for not telling you that we appreciate you for everything that you are instead of what you're not. I want to say I'm sorry.
Shedana, she's crying too. This is beautiful. She's crying. Yeah. Yeah. Power. All right, Leroy. Tell Deirdre what.
Deirdre, on behalf of men, I'll say this, and I said this after watching you all to Kendell, and it didn't just apply to one of you all, it's to all of you all, but I apologize for not hearing you. And I want to tell you that we hear you. We hear your voices. We hear what it is that you are saying to us, and we apologize for not listening. And we apologize for not being as attentive to who you are, what you need, and how you need it. That makes any sense. So we apologize.
Wow.
I apologize on behalf of men.
Y'all, this is the conversation. This is the conversation. This is the conversation that heals. And sometimes all you need to hear is, I'm sorry. I apologize. And even not from that person that you need to hear it from, these women and men are emotional right now because that's all they needed to hear. And sometimes you won't get it. That's how life works. You won't get it from the person you need it from, but as long as you hear it, then you can move past that chapter. Y'all, I don't know what to say. This exceeded my expectation. I knew it would be powerful, but only God knew how powerful this would be. Tishera, I see you. Norman,
Kendell, you move. Oh,
go ahead, Leroy. What you gonna
no,
say?
I was just gonna say you moved something tonight. You moved. Believe that you moved something tonight. You shifted. I don't think any of us were expecting this at the end.
No.
But you shifted. You shifted something tonight. This is powerful.
Thank you. Thank you. I just want to say, Norman, I see you. I see you. Marques, I see you. Leroy, I see you. Deirdre, I see you. My sweet Shedana, I see you. I see you. Everybody is hurt. Somebody's been hurt today. Somebody was just hurt yesterday. Someone is feeling unworthy right at this very moment. Somebody tonight might cry themselves to sleep.
Yeah.
You know, it's real. You never, when you walk past someone, you never know what they're going through. You have no idea what they've been through. So before you judge someone else and someone else's story, let's try love and understanding, because that's all we need. It's as simple as that. I thank you all. Norman, thank you. Marques, thank you.
Thank you.
Say it once more so it can, the camera can, I want people to see you.
No, I was just saying thank you to you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Leroy, thank you.
Kendell, thank you.
Deirdre, sis, thank you.
Thank you, Kendell.
Tishera, thank you. Shedana, thank you.
Thank you, Kendell, and thank every last one of you gentlemen. Every apology I personally took.
Yes.
And Norman, thank you so much. I didn't realize that I would even have, because I've had to be the strong one for so long. So I thank you for your words. I didn't even realize I needed it. So thank you, Kendell.
Thank you, Kendell.
If somebody would have told me, I would have been crying on here, because a man who's never hurt me apologized to me for all the men that did.
That right.
And that's what people understand. And I wanted everybody viewing this right now, that's what I want you to understand. Sometimes that's all it takes for someone else to make it through and over that hump. They just need to hear it. You heard Shedana say, she never met Norman. He's never hurt her. But just to hear a man say that, they're in tears. So I appreciate it. Everybody, I mean, again, I'll show the site of what I'm seeing, but all beautiful people. Everybody, thank you so much for watching. This has been amazing. This is it's just powerful. It's powerful when we can get together and we're not fussing and we're not arguing. We're sitting here having the conversation. I want to thank you all for joining me and tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. I don't take it lightly. Please do me a favor and subscribe. It's important that you subscribe and share conversations like this. And hopefully this will spread like wildfire. When we're doing something wrong and we're misbehaving out in the street, it goes viral. Everybody wants to hear about it. Everybody wants to see about it. But what about organic conversations like this? Nothing I did today was scripted. Nothing. I wrote nothing down. This is organic conversation. This is what it looks like. Thank you so much. That's all I can say. This is Kendell Lenice I don't even know my own name right now. This is Kendell. Look, and my name's almost 49. My name will be 49 next month. I'm gonna have to sit in the room in the closet and close the door for a minute and just breathe after this, because this was powerful. But again,
Kendell,
thank you.
I'm gonna get you, Kendell. I gotta go do an interview. I gotta go do another show right after this one. You done jacked me all up.
Once again, he's a boss. What can I say? But stay tuned, everybody on here. Everybody on here is powerful, and everybody over here, you're game changers. Remember that. And if you don't know that you're a star, I'm telling you right now. And I'm not talking about the star to be famous. I'm talking about that shining star right up in the sky. Think about that one star you see. It looks beautiful, right? When you look at one star. But look at all of these stars. What does that image look like when you look in the sky and you see all of these stars shining? Thank you, everybody. God bless. Until next time, peace. Don't forget to subscribe.